Welcome to the Monsters Among Us podcast. This is episode 4, Skinwalkers.
Yeah, and today we're diving into some pretty deeply unsettling accounts. We've pulled these from a YouTube compilation, Scary Skinwalker Stories of January 2025.
Right, and these aren't just like spooky tales for around a campfire.
No, definitely not. These are experiences that seem to have genuinely, shaken people to their core, made them question reality itself.
Exactly. So we've got 3 stories we really want to unpack today. Each one is, well, chilling in its own way. Let's kick off with the one called The Cabin in the Woods.
Okay, so this involves a couple, the person telling the story and their partner, Grace. They move out to this quiet cabin, pretty remote by a ridge.
Sounds idyllic at first, right? Peace and quiet.
That's how it starts, but pretty soon things get weird at night. Strange shadows, noises outside, rustling, just that creepy feeling of not being alone.
The kind of stuff that makes your imagination run wild, maybe, or maybe not.
Well, it ramps up quickly. One evening, they're out on the porch, and they see it, this thing. Pale, really thin, long limbs, crawling on all fours up towards the ridge.
Crawling, that's inherently disturbing.
Right, and Grace, she immediately says it's something else. Not an animal, not anything normal, that gut reaction,
Yeah, that primal feeling that what you're seeing just shouldn't be.
But here's where it gets even stranger, I think. Grace starts seeing this thing, she calls it the Watcher, almost daily.
Okay.
And she claims it's just curious. That it's not harmful. This is despite its obviously disturbing appearance.
That's odd. Like a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Or something else going on with her.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Then her behavior gets more erratic. Sleepwalking out towards the woods, staring off at nothing, humming this old childhood tune.
Okay, that's definitely crossing a line into deeply weird territory.
Yeah.
It feels like she's being influenced, drawn in.
Exactly. And then the narrator finds this bundle, sticks tied up with twine, and Grace's hair. She calls it a gift from the forest, which just sounds wrong, ritualistic almost.
Oh, that's not a normal gift. Then what happens?
Things escalate, noises on the roof one night, the narrator goes out and Grace is standing there like in a trance, pointing
Pointing where?
to the ridge where the creature is standing. But now it's taller and its face is just this pale, featureless void.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Featureless face. That's pure nightmare fuel.
Tell me about it. And the creature starts appearing closer, moving in these jerky, unnatural ways. But Grace is still weirdly calm about it, insists it won't hurt them.
That disconnect is maybe the scariest part for the narrator, I imagine. Watching your partner seem almost welcoming to this horror.
Totally. Then a big storm hits and the creature attacks. Properly attacks.
What did it look like up close?
The description is horrific. Half decayed, this awful toothless grin, impossibly long arms, reaching for Grace.
Jeez. So what did the narrator do?
They had a gun, shot at it multiple times. It recoiled, made these awful sounds, guttural, but also high-pitched and grating. But it didn't, die or anything. It just retreated back into the woods.
Not exactly comforting. The bullets don't stop it.
Not at all. And afterwards, Grace becomes withdrawn, just stares at the ridge. And she says they can't leave, that it won't let us.
Trapped. Psychologically, at least.
And physically, maybe.
Yeah.
The narrator hears whispers outside, footsteps circling the cabin, constant pressure.
Building to a final confrontation.
Yeah. One night, it breaks in. The thing forces its way into the cabin, partly decayed, limbs contorting, that eyeless face.
Okay.
Grace screams, which seems to snap the narrator out of their shock. They just grab her and run, flee into the storm.
Is it chasing them?
Yes! Moving like a, quote, grotesque spider. Absolutely terrifying flight.
Did they get away?
They manage to reach their truck and drive off, but as they're escaping, Grace just whispers, "We can't go back." They abandon the cabin, everything, left it all behind.
Wow. And the narrator is left wondering, what was it? Cryptid. Skinwalker. Just fear made manifest.
Exactly. And Grace, apparently, is still deeply affected. That encounter just broke something.
That story's intense. It really captures that feeling of isolation and escalating dread.
It does. Okay, so the next account moves us to Arizona, Kayenta. Different place, but that same undercurrent of unease.
Right. This one involves the narrator and someone named Lena visiting an Uncle Sam.
Yeah, and right away they feel this isolation, this sort of background tension in the landscape. First night there, the narrator wakes up, scratching sounds, on the porch.
Not good. Never good.
No. They look out, see this figure, crouched down, covered in black fur but misshapen, and it has glowing eyes.
Glowing eyes are never friendly, are they?
Almost never. Then this thing, It rises up, stands on its hind legs, and the outline is just described as grotesque, unnatural.
So not just an animal on two legs, something wrong about the shape itself.
Precisely. Lena sees it too. They try to wake up Uncle Sam, and apparently just saying his name gets a reaction from the creature.
It reacts to a name.
Yeah, it growls and then lets out this completely unnatural scream like nothing they've ever heard.
That suggests intelligence, awareness.
It really does. Then the scratching starts again, but now it sounds like it's coming from multiple places around the house at once. A deliberate, terrifying tactic.
Like it's playing with them.
Exactly. Sam gets his rifle, but the feeling is that the creature isn't actually trying to break in, just tormenting them, testing them.
That's almost worse psychologically.
I think so. The next morning, things get even weirder. Sam sees it again after sunrise, just lingering out of rifle range. He confirms absolutely not a normal animal.
And then there's the smell, right?
Oh, yeah. This rancid odor starts permeating the air, and the description is chilling. Too human.
Too human. What does that even mean? It's so unsettling.
It implies something corrupted, doesn't it? Something that mimics humanity but is fundamentally wrong.
Yeah, deeply wrong. So the nights get worse, I assume.
Much worse. Heavy footsteps circling the house. More scratching, this time on the walls, the windows. Then knocking on the glass starts soft, gets more insistent.
Relentless pressure.
And a low, guttural growl, again, described as neither animal nor human, just other.
Sounds like a siege.
It becomes one. Scratching, pounding, rattling doors. The narrator and Lena end up hiding in a guest room, pushing a dresser against the door for safety.
Standard horror movie procedure, but probably feels very real then.
Totally. Then they hear the growling and scratching right outside their door.
Yeah.
And then, a voice.
Oh no. What kind of voice?
Faint, but human-sounding, hissing Lena's name. Lena.
Okay, that personal targeting is terrifying. It knows who's inside.
Makes it so much worse, right? They hear it pacing outside, tapping on the door, the window, just relentless torment.
Is there any help? Does Sam do anything else?
Help arrives unexpectedly. Headlights suddenly flood the room. It's an elder from the community, apparently alerted somehow. They arrive with burning sage.
Ah, bringing in traditional methods.
Yes. And they see the creature near the fence line, and it actually recoils from the sage smoke as the elder starts chanting.
So the traditional defenses actually worked.
Seemed to drive it back, at least temporarily. But later that night, the narrator hears this unholy laughter coming from outside.
Laughter, like it found the whole thing amusing.
That's the implication, mocking them. And the scratching returns the next night, closer, more deliberate. It wasn't over.
Just persistent, malevolent presence. Another really disturbing one.
Definitely feels like being hunted. Okay, our third story, the hollow tree. This one involves kids, which always adds another layer of vulnerability.
Right. Playing hide and seek in the woods near a cabin. Classic setup.
Yeah, and one of the kids, Alex, has this rule. Stay away from a particular hollow tree, which of course immediately makes you focus on it.
Foreshadowing 101.
Pretty much. So the narrator hears rustling behind that specific tree, shouts, "Gotcha!" But Alex isn't there.
Okay, where is he?
They see him a bit further off, just standing stock still, head tilted weirdly, not responding when they call his name.
That's creepy. Just standing there.
And then he turns and he smiles, but the smile stretches way too wide. Teeth look wrong, gleaming, and his eyes just don't look human.
Oh, the uncanny valley thing. Looks almost right, but is deeply wrong.
Exactly. And his movements are stiff, jerky. The narrator just bolts, runs back to the other kids.
I don't blame him. Did anyone else see it?
Another kid, Emily, says, "He smiled at me, but it wasn't him." Instant confirmation that something was seriously wrong with that Alex.
So it wasn't Alex. Where was the real Alex?
Back inside the cabin, in the kitchen, apparently groggy, like he'd just woken up or something. But when they tell him what they saw, he reacts with pure fear. Tells them to lock everything now.
So the real Alex knows something, or senses the danger.
Seems like it. He grabs a rifle and actually goes outside.
To confront it. Brave or foolish, maybe.
Maybe both. They hear this raw, guttural scream from the woods, but it's definitely not Alex's voice.
Oh, God. Did Alex come back?
He did. Pale, scratched up, he just says, "It's gone." But you can tell he doesn't believe it. Adds, "It's not human."
He saw something up close then.
Must have. Then the psychological stuff starts. Faint whispers outside the cabin. Then they start hearing familiar voices, their own parents maybe calling their names, asking to be let in.
Oh, the mimicry. That's a classic Skinwalker trait in the folklore, isn't it?
It is. Using familiar voices to lure people out, Alex warns them, "Don't listen.
Don't open the door no matter what.
Smart kid. Do the voices stop?
Not for hours. They just persisted, whispering, calling. Imagine how terrifying that would be locked inside.
Absolutely nerve-wracking.
Finally, around dawn, Alex says he thinks it's gone for now, but everyone's still terrified. Later, they find Alex's rifle
Where?
on the ground near the hollow tree, covered in scratches, like something fought him for it or just marked it.
A calling card. Creepy. Is that the end?
Not quite. They look towards the hollow tree again, and inside, they see a figure.
Yeah.
Pale, humanoid, but with distorted features.
No.
And then it speaks in Alice's voice.
Oh, that's the worst part. The perfect mimicry.
Truly horrifying. Then this creature unfolds itself from the tree. Its limbs are described as long and spindly, and it moves with terrifying speed towards the cabin.
I must have run.
Ran for their lives back inside, barricaded the door again. The creature starts hitting the door, pounding on it.
And the whispers.
The whispers return, mimicking their own voices now, calling to each other from outside, trying to trick them into thinking one of them is out there.
Total psychological assault.
Completely. It only stops when the sun properly rises, when full daylight appears.
Yeah.
Then, silence.
Just gone with the light. Wow. 3 incredibly unsettling stories.
Yeah, and you notice the overlaps, right? Even though the locations and specifics differ.
Definitely. The appearance is always wrong.
Yeah.
Unnatural bodies, distorted features, jerky movements.
And the sounds, those guttural growls, the unnatural screams, the mimicry of voices, it's all designed to unsettle, to sound inhuman. Plus that constant feeling of being watched, being targeted.
Yeah.
And the intelligence behind it, the playing, the tormenting, the mimicry. It's not just a beast, it's something aware.
Right. It feels calculating, and the psychological impact is huge. You see it in Grace's withdrawal, the kids' lingering fear, the Arizona group feeling besieged.
It's that sense of the normal world just cracking open, isn't it?
Yeah.
Showing something terrifying underneath it you can't unsee. Leaves a permanent mark.
Absolutely. So the question remains, what are people experiencing here? Do these accounts line up neatly with traditional Navajo Skinwalker lore, or are we seeing variations or maybe something else entirely?
It's hard to say for sure. The shape-shifting, the malevolence, the unnatural abilities, they certainly echo the legends, but each encounter has its own unique flavor of terror.
And the sheer number of stories like this you can find online now, it does make you wonder, doesn't it, about what might be lurking just, beyond the edges of our well-lit world.
It really does. Thanks for walking us through those chilling accounts. It definitely gives us a lot to think about regarding folklore, fear, and the unexplained things people report experiencing. What else might be out there sharing these kinds of disturbing characteristics? Something to ponder.